Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of East Coast Sailing. I'm Rob and today Evania AKA the money pit has finally been lifted out and hard standing. Now this is the first time I've seen the underside of this boat. I purchased it back in September and paid for a professional survey to be done, but I wasn't about during the lift. So in today's episode I'm going to talk to you about the lift out process, the costs involved, as well as all the jobs that need to be done under the waterline before the boat is relaunched in early May. Now I've got just 10 weeks to get everything ready and the list seems to be growing. I'm also going to talk about some of the characteristics of this particular boat because a number of you said, why didn't you buy a deep keel boat? I'm also going to talk about some of the running costs as well as the maintenance that I've done over the last 6 months to give you a flavour of the kind of financial commitment you need to make to a boat as well as the time commitment. So let's get going. Having the boat lifted out is always a welcomed event on my calendar. It represents another year of successful sailing without sinking a boat and another year of valuable experience gained. I left my mooring and made my way over to the slip ready to be lifted out. I had a strong tailwind of 20 knots but I didn't realise how fast the incoming tide was. You can see 4 of us trying to wrestle 5.5 tons of boat round the corner. The lift out today cost £398 and that's for a Beneteau 34 lifting keel. Now that sounds expensive, but there's actually 3 people working to get the boat lifted out. You've also got the hire of the cradle, a tractor, insurances, and this includes a jet wash and setting down. The yard manager has 40 years of experience and he did an excellent job along with his team in making sure Evania got lifted out safely. It was a sad sight watching Evania being led up the slip as I knew winter was coming and I wouldn't be going sailing for another 2.5 months. The start of long days down the boatyard doing maintenance away from the wife and kids whilst drinking beer sounds like my idea of pure heaven. Considering the boat was only lifted out 5 months ago, it's staggering how much growth there is on the bottom. Evania was tucked up ready for winter hibernation. Now I'd strongly recommend anyone laying up a boat on the hard to remove anything of value and anything that's easily removable. Don't be a victim of crime. Considering the morning started out with a thick frost, when I arrived at the boatyard it was a hive of activity. You could hear the sound of angle grinders and summer finally felt like it was on its way. You can see the marina entrance road is completely covered by the tide as though the highest of the year. In the next section I'm going to talk about all of the jobs that I found under the waterline, and then last of all I'm going to talk about absolutely every cost I've spent on this boat today, and it's actually pretty staggering. It made me feel a bit ill writing it all down. Coming in at number 1 we have the leaking water pump. Now I have done a full engine bay refresh and you'll see some pictures later on. Next up is through water speed not registering. These sensors are prone to getting stuck, so if your boat's still in the water, I've got a cool tip. If you put some rope over the bow and walk it back and forward up the deck, it should be able to free the sensor. Now after a few goes on the mooring, this didn't work, so it was a bigger problem.
Oh, I see what the problem is.
Now the sensor's actually been removed, and to be fair, I won't replace this because I never use speed through water. It's a completely useless measurement and it's a hangover before GPS. Now that last statement might be quite controversial, however I don't really see much benefit. It's another place to leak and they never work because of crustaceans, so unless you're a club racer I don't see the point in having it. I've got a broken anchor locker drain, so I've ordered some replacement stainless steel clam fittings. All the anti-foul needs sanding and repainting. Overall the keel looks pretty good, I just need to rebed the front of it. These rusty circles conceal the lifting keel mechanism pins. The old epoxy needs to be broken out, the rust treated, and it needs to be refaired again. Every through-hole fitting is going to be replaced in the boat. You can see the kitchen sink as well as the engine fresh intake. I checked the rudders for any play in the bearings and there was a tiny bit, so I'll have a quick look at it. I checked the rudder headstocks to make sure there's no cracking or crazing, as this would signify any hard groundings. More fittings that need changing from the bilge locker as well as the cockpit. Some deep scratches in the rear transom cover cap. The propeller needs a lot of attention. We need to reseal around the shaft log, replace the cutlass bearing, and then we need to go over the whole gory folding propeller unit. This unit requires specific anodes as well as new bushings to stop the propeller blades from hitting the shaft when it's put in drive. I've also had to order a special bearing puller and a C-section spanner to remove it. The port rudder bushing needs to be replaced. Now this is a specialist part from Beneteau. There's another 3 through-hole fittings to replace for the exhaust as well as the locker drainage. 3 more through-hole fittings that need to be replaced for the toilet as well as the bilge pump. I've also got a few white gel coat repairs to do on the top deck as well as round the hull.
So we've had a number of you ask why we didn't buy a deep keel boat. Well, we just sold a 22-foot Newbridge Venture, which was a bilge keel and only drew 0.7 metres. Now we found some lovely shallow sailing ground and we didn't want to give that opportunity up by sacrificing having a deep keel for doing 90% of our sailing on the River Blackwater where it's fairly shallow. So we've got twin rudders and a wing keel, so that gives the boat the ability to dry out exactly like a bilge keel, with the added bonus of it has a lifting keel, so we can actually lower that down and it becomes 1.8 metres draft. And what that enables us to do is to sail windward much better than our other bilge keel.
Now for the bit you've all probably been waiting for is what are the running costs in this boat. So I'm going to break it down to 4 sections about buying costs, as well as the yearly running costs, as well as the upgrades I've done today, as well as the future upgrades I've got to have done by summer. So let's crack on. Starting off with the buying costs. I had to pay £291 to have the boat lifted out in slings for the survey. The survey costs £565, so it works out just under £17 per foot. I'm not going to tell you the boat costs, too slow. Moving on to annual running costs. Fully comp insurance at £310. My fuel usage for last season was £200. And the biggest cost is the mooring fee at £3,480. Now you can go for a swinging mooring, but I prefer security and easy access. The boat lift out is £398. The boat lift back in is £237. Anti-fouling and boot top is £180. Moving on to repairs and upgrades, and you might want to take a seat. A new Yanmar at £1,976. New fenders all around at £450. Navy mooring ropes at £145. Replacing damaged whisker pole jaws. My beautiful new spray hood at £1,276. New vinyl naming at £40. Lots of various annos at £110. Full gory prop rebuild at £150. Raymarine sharp plotter cover at £45. Replacement speakers at £79. New MP3 wireless head unit at £79. Shore power cable at £40. Emergency outboard bracket £135. Replace the existing halogen spotlights to LED, which has low voltage, £80. Replacement of running rigging £180. Fixing the leaking water pump, having spares and doing a full engine bay refresh £565. Steering wheel cover repair £20. Raymarine auto tiller drive unit refurb £220. Replace engine vibration mounts. Now Yanmar wanted over £1,000 for 4 and I managed to find some OEM ones for £286. I've also got a number of future upgrade costs before summer, which is the mainsail at £2,400, seacocks and plumbing at £400, toilet replacement at £200, running rigging £200, new anchor chain and rope at £600, roof window at £100, which brings the total to £3,900. And just to summarise all costs, so we've got the buying costs coming out at £856, the yearly running costs at £4,805, the repairs and upgrades at £6,031, future summer upgrades at £3,900, which brings the total, excluding the boat, to £15,592. I hope those costs haven't put you off boat ownership, and that's not the intention of the video. Owning a boat opens up some amazing experiences and memories you'll never forget. Now you can reduce the cost of sailing, you can get a swinging mooring, you could probably reduce your maintenance, but for me, having 2 weeks off to go sailing in the summer is having absolute reliability. So I don't want to have a breakdown in the mid-sea, I'd rather have preventative maintenance and spend a little bit more making sure I'm going to get somewhere safely. Now I'm also going to give you some up and coming savings. For example, I found a water pump bearing that was in a Yanmar water pump. I found that particular bearing for 78 pence. Yanmar are charging £60, so stay tuned for all the maintenance videos. Now I think going through the overview of everything that needs to be done in the underside of the boat, it's not insurmountable. We should be able to get that done in 10 weeks. I reckon we should be in a good position about 5 weeks time if the weather is kind to us. So if you've learned a lot today, I'm going to be putting out loads of maintenance videos and rebuilding the water pump. I'll be rebuilding the Raymarine 4000 Mark II auto tiller. I'm going to be doing the engine mounts. I'm going to be doing engine shaft realignment.
I'm going to be doing major servicing on the engine as well as the outboards. So if that sounds like something you're going to benefit from, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and leave any comments of anything you would like to see.
Thanks for watching East Coast Sailing, and if you've enjoyed today's episode, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to get the latest videos.